what I was gonna say what DAW, but like what production software are you using right now that fits your workflow?
Oh, Logic. I've been using Logic probably since
Logic.
2011. Yep.
All right, so because Logic is a DAW, right? Pretty
Yep.
much, it's not a beat making program. It's for recording vocals and stuff like that. But of course, we know DAWs can be used for both.
Well, Logic is literally both.
Right. Okay.
Like I make the beat in Logic, and then I cut vocals in Logic
Logic.
with the
Right.
whole beat on the tracks up above. You know what I mean? Like Logic is both of them. It caters beautifully to both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, Logic is dope. All the other DAWs are dope too, but Logic is my favorite just because cutting vocals in there is so much easier than Pro Tools, man. I haven't used Pro Tools probably since 2015.
You haven't used Pro Tools, so is it because of the Avid switch from Digi Design and how they, because they kind of, I think they really
No,
messed
that
up
didn't
a
ha- that
lot
didn't
with
have
that
nothing to do.
subscription thing.
It didn't have nothing to do with it, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I've been making beats in Logic since 2011, but 2015 I made the switch because I got a writer homeboy out of Chicago named Cajun, and he had came to Atlanta working or whatever. And we end up linking up, and he was playing me some records, and I'm like, man, who cut the vocal? The vocals sound crazy. He was like, I cut them. I'm like, Pro Tools? He was like, nah, man, I use Logic. He like, I do everything in Logic. He like, I make the beat, cut the vocals, mix, master everything in Logic. And from there, I was like, oh, he got it sounding like that. Nah, yeah, I'm in Logic,
Say Logic
and that
where
was
it's
it.
at. Shout out to
Yep.
Logic. Yeah, I know a couple. I have an engineer that I work with. He uses Logic. So yeah, I'm a Studio One guy, but I might check Logic out if it got if it's making if it's sounding like that for sure. So
I
are you
mean, Studio
mostly
One's dope too.
you say what?
Studio One is dope too, man. I mean, I don't use it, but I've seen people use it and I've heard about it. Like Studio One is dope. It really caters to like live instrumentation. Like,
Yeah, I like Studio One, and I make my beats in Studio One too. So and it's real kind of. I think it's user friendly when it comes to beat making and producing in Studio One. Like you say, to be able to do the beat, cut the vocals, and now I got all the stems there. It really cuts out having to because make a beat and then bounce down the stems and all the other stuff when you already got
yeah,
everything right there set up ready to go. So
yep.
no, that's always going to be the easiest way. Are you mostly in the box, or do you still work with hardware?
Man, I'm in the box, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. I got all my hardware right here. It's sitting right to the left of me right now. Looking like some artifacts, but yeah, man. I'm on the laptop, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
And do you feel like you're able, because you've been producing for a long time? So I'm guessing, or I'm asking you, or do you feel like you're able to emulate the hardware, or is it still something that you're going to get from that hardware that you're not going to get in the box?
Yeah, you're not gonna get the hardware stuff from the box, especially like the MPCs that I have. Like I got an MPC 2500 and an MPC 2000. I don't care what kind of plug-in you pull up, wave plug-in, saturator, tape machine. I don't care what you pull up. It's not happening, bro. It's just a whole different, it's just another situation, man. That's all it is. Like I could play beats from my MPC days. Logic not gonna hit like that, bro. It's too clean.
Mm.
It's too clean. You can dirty it up, but still not going. Whatever those sound processors they were putting in them MPCs back then, bro. Joint you
Say
something
official.
else.
Yeah, I got an MPC 2000 too, so I definitely know what you're talking about for sure. All right, so what plugins or tools are on almost any of your, like if you're gonna do a session, what plugins are you making sure that you're putting on that session?
I mean, I haven't done sessions probably since I moved from Atlanta because I left Atlanta in 2017. Now, when I was in Atlanta, um, before I stopped using Pro Tools, when I was using Pro Tools, I got a template from my guy Trey Ace. He's from Cleveland too, actually.
Okay.
I got a I got a template from him, so I would have to ask him what those plugins. You said what?
No, I'm here. I'm listening. I have somebody else
Yeah,
on.
yeah. No, I hate cutting vocals, so I'm not really a technical guy on the engineer side. You know what I'm saying? I do everything by feel, but I was definitely using Trey Ace's template cutting vocals once he gave it to me or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just a I do everything by ear, man. I'll pull up some stuff and tweak it or whatever, and won't even remember what it was I used.
Well, that was something that I heard. Now I did go back and listen to your interview. Sound like it was in the UK, and you were
Oh
talking
yeah, probably the
about
sample lounge.
yeah, you were talking yeah, and they were talking about your samples and the samples that you use. So is sampling was that one of the things that you started off doing when you first started producing, sampling songs?
Oh yeah, my very first beat I made, I sampled More Bounce.
More bounce to
That
the
was the very
house.
first. Yeah, yep. Ryder Troutman, yep. I saved up my money and bought a Gemini sampler. I paid like $350 for it. Saved up my little airbrush money, and that was the very first thing I sampled. Made a beat out of it, and then it's funny because that beat, shortly after I made that beat, my first beat, we ended up opening up for Scarface at the Aragon Ballroom
That's dope.
with my first beat, with my very first beat. Shout out Donnie Arcade, my homeboy Quan, B Dog, you know what I'm saying? We went down there and did that show. Went back to I was in 11th grade. Went back to school the next day, couldn't nobody tell me nothing.
So you was lit from there.
Yeah, couldn't tell me nothing. Yep.
All right, man. My apologies, man. My having some issues here, but we back at it. We back at it. So when you so I was talking about the samples, and once again, I know you have a lot of different placements with a lot of industry artists. So one question that I have for you is when you're making your beats or when you made the beats that got placed, were you mixing those beats, like EQing them and compressing them, and were you making them the best quality as possible, or were you kind of just making beats and just sending them off?
Well, I always do a rough or a light mix, if you will, on my joints before I send them off anywhere or whatever. So I was doing that, but they still gonna get it mixed and mastered and all that stuff on their end. However, come to find out, and I didn't know till after I did that sample lounge interview. So, I told the story that I told, how it went down or whatever. But Shy Money, he ended up getting in the comments after explaining everything I went through, having to remake the beat and all that stuff because I haven't left the disc in Atlanta.
Yeah, I remember
They
that.
end up using, yeah, they end up using the 2-track.
What?
They end up using the 2-track. So
Wow.
essentially, they end up using my mix. Like I got mixing credit on the song.
Oh wow.
Yep.
So you got it eared in, bro. That's what that sounds like. Like you know what what they want. You know what I'm saying? On top of, I'm quite sure you know how to make produce, but it sounds like because once you got that first placement. So let's talk about some placement.